And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We are back. Sorry about those technical difficulties. It happens. It's life. That's part of it. We lost Mr. Conley. Mr. Conley just went out to go run a call for a car wreck. So what a good guy. Anyways, so what are we up? Are we streaming? Are we live? Can people hear us? Can you hear us? That's kind of the big thing about podcast is the audio it's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal. But we are back, and people are saying, "Guess who's back?" So that's,
we are.
That's great. We're back again. Shout out to Blake. Do you remember Blake?
Yeah.
Blake Mask?
Hell yeah.
Shout out.
Blake is like a he is like a ninja. I mean, that dude is probably one of the most talented people ever. I mean, out there just if it can be done, he's doing it.
He's a cool guy. I remember back in maybe 2018, he let me crash at his place, and that was really cool when I traveled to.
That's awesome.
Alabama.
Yeah, so he's a real good guy.
That was really cool.
What
We got a question here from Facebook. What do we do with the shame of how this administration pulled out of Afghanistan? And that goes out to anyone that opposes them.
I mean, to be honest, like my perspective of it is like, why didn't we pull out earlier? Right? Yeah, the way we pulled out was terrible. But I mean, I don't know that I've got a better plan to pull out. I mean, but I'll be honest with you. I'm glad that nobody's getting killed over for a shithole like Afghanistan any longer. It's time for them to stand up for their own country, right? So I think the bigger question is why did we go there? Period.
So I got two for you, brother, which this is from Dan from Facebook. When the hell are they going to make your movie?
When are they going to make my movie? I don't know. I have no clue. Probably after I'm dead, right? Like that's usually how those things go.
Also, have you thought about running for office? You have a natural, charismatic personality, and we need more selfless people in the office. We need more of that in this world.
Have I thought about running for office? You know, if I thought that shit could get done in office, then maybe. But I just don't believe that it can. I mean, and you look at well, we got a call.
To be continued.
To be continued. Hey, what's going on? It's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hey, Dakota?
Yes, sir.
Dude, holy crap. I can't believe this actually worked, man.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Dude, what's up? Wow, man, it's kind of crazy talking. Dude, first of all, I just want to say it's good to meet you, I guess, on the phone.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. What's your name?
My name is Fonzie.
Fonzie, hell yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So I was in the Marine Corps I did 5 years active and 3 reserves.
Badass.
I did a MU and a UDP. And I'm going to college right now. I'm trying to get back into the Marine Corps as an officer trying to commission.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm trying to. I called you about because I mean, dude, you got to think. I went to boot camp in 2012, and I mean, we all knew who you were, man. Like when everything went down and shit like that, like
yeah,
you know, we heard all about it and stuff. So.
Man, that's like, it's always crazy to hear those stories, right? Like people will write me and they're like, oh, we did a case study on you and like things like that. And it's always just, you know, I mean, you just never imagined, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, for sure, man. This is a trip talking to you.
That's awesome, man.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh man, that's dope. Okay. So I guess, so my first question is, I want to be an infantry officer. What are some things that you kind of expect to see from your platoon commander?
Man, you know, like I mean, you are already in, so like you're gonna be a Mustang, right? Like so you're already gonna have like to know what it's like to be on the enlisted side. So I think that's like a huge piece that you're gonna be able to bring to your leadership style of knowing what it's like to be in their shoes, and now you're going to get to be in the shoes of the officer. And so I think for me, like the important part is your loyalty as an officer has got to stay to those below you, not above you. Right? Like that's where everybody messes up, is like your loyalty is to the guys that are trusting you to lead them, right? And you must lead them and protect them and guide them to the direction of the people above you they give you. Does that make sense? But like when your loyalty turns around and it's to the people above you and not to the people that you're leading and you're responsible for, that's when everything gets out of whack, right? It's like having a compass that's turned backwards.
For sure. Yeah, I got you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. That's good advice, brother. Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. What else? Anything else? Where are you going to school at?
I go to school at Santiago Canyon College here in Orange County.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I live here in Cali. So
How long till you're gonna be done?
I'll transfer next year and go to probably a Cal State Long Beach or Cal State Fullerton or something like that.
Hell yeah, man. Well, listen, good luck. I appreciate you taking the time to call in.
Yeah, man. Thank you for taking the call. Wow, this is awesome.
Oh yeah, brother. Hey, have a great day. Thank you for your service.
You too, bro. Thank you for your service.
See you, man.
Great dude right there.
What a good guy. I mean, what a great question, right?
Great question. So our lines are open at 512-523-5609. Give us a call. Ask us anything. Nothing is off the table.
Nothing.
Got a question here from Facebook. Kind of get this one a lot, but this is from Beth. Any advice on how family members can show their support to someone with PTSD or things we should avoid?
Oh,
put a pin in that.
Put a pin in it. Hey, what's going on? It's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey, Dr. Meyer. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Living the dream, my friend.
Oh, yeah, brother. What's going on?
Not much. Just wanted to call in and say hello, make sure that everything's going well, and just thank you for the advice that you're offering to everybody.
Hell yeah, man. Listen, if I tried to tell you problems, I'd have to make them up. You know, I get to sit here and talk to amazing people across the world, you know, and like, man, how do you have a bad day?
It's really interesting because I had a conversation yesterday and it was with a buddy of mine who's helping me with my journey of faith. And, you know, what he said to me was, if we stop pretending that we're the person we want to be and we start acting like the people that, you know, we know that we should be, and that we know that God sees, and honestly our fellow veterans can see through our bullshit, we'll be much happier people. And I think what I just wanted to say and get your thoughts on was, you know, when we stop pretending that we're big, strong people who have nothing pushed down deep inside to hide from the world, we become happier people.
Yeah, man. It's yeah. I mean, you like when I think strength, I think of people who are so strong that like they can just be authentic in who they are and throw it all on the table, and like and they can you know, and they can risk it all to get to know somebody or to take that vulnerability because they know they're so strong that you can't do anything to change who I am. Right? Like we're all walking around posturing. Like everybody's walking around posturing, right? Like it's kind of crazy. Like, you know, like I can't, you know, I'm not going to let you know anything about me. Right. Because, you know, all this craziness, right? Like and sometimes we do that to make ourselves feel more important than who we are. But like, man, I think real strength is for me to be able to look at you and say, hey man, I love you. I'm there for you. I've been through it. I've struggled. I'm struggling right now with something, and but just know that I'm here for you. And like, man, it sucks. It hurts, but we can't stay like this, and we got to do things to get better. Like that's true strength to me. Not this, oh, you know, you're just all fucked up, right? I mean, it's like it's just crazy, right? And so it's like for me, you know, I lay it all on the table sometimes for people too fast. And it happens a lot, right? And I lay it on the table and they end up screwing me over. But you know why I go back and lay it on the table? Because guess what? I would rather lay all my cards on the table and see if you want to play the hand of life with me, and take the chance of you using it to play your hand because you know mine, and you hurt me or you disappoint me or you let me down. But I would rather take that chance because I know you can't change anything about my life. Instead of, even if that happens 9 times out of 10, at least that one person I found that is a genuinely good person, I don't want to miss out on that one person because I'm too worried about these other 9. Does that make sense?
It does. And, I'll leave you with this is my motto at work is love over comfort. And it just means it's comfortable to not put yourself out there. It's comfortable to do the easy thing. But if you honestly love the people that you're working for, you'll make it uncomfortable, and you'll do the hard things that eventually will pay off.
Well, that's what God calls us all to do, right?
Yeah.
When you start getting into these things, well, God says you do this is a sin, or when we start talking about like, when people start getting into, and I always love, especially when somebody talks to me about, well, this person's a homosexual, so they're breaking, they're sinning. Well, guess what? So is having sex before marriage, right? And God says no, there's not one.
Everybody's a sinner.
Right. There's not one sin greater than the other. Right. And that's what God tells us. And God tells us that, look, love thy neighbor. Right. And it's like, and it's all these things. And so like when you get these people who are throwing shade and God even talks about, about the speck in the eye, right? Like, how do you point out the speck in somebody else's eye when you have this huge log sticking out of yours that you can't see? And it's like, there's all these things. And it's like, look, like, it's not hard to be a nice person. And you know what? People live their own lives. Every single one of us that walk the earth are imperfect human beings. We are all like, we sin every single day. It's sin if you think about sleeping with somebody who you're not married with, right? I mean, when you get down to it, and it's like, what God calls us all to do is to understand that these sins aren't for us to point out everybody else's problems. These sins are for us to look in the mirror and know that we are imperfect people who we're all that way, and there's nothing we can do to be good enough. So what we can do, though, and we have the power of doing, is loving each other and being there for each other, no matter what, without judgment.
We are definitely blessed with grace.
Right? So much grace.
Thank you, Dr. Meyer.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, sir. I hope you have a great day.
You too. See you, doctor.
See ya. Love the conversation.
Sir, you got to tell me, what is this Dr. Meyer thing?
So
I don't get it.
Yeah. So Dan fucked with me one day, and I love it when people, like, I know they come from it. So Dan Holloway, he was messing with me one day because I told him I was a doctor, and I got an honorary doctorate from Lindsey Wilson College. They gave that to me. And so I told Dan, I'm like, dude,
you are a doctor.
You should call me doctor, right? And he's like, he would never call me doctor. So it's kind of funny. Like, it's a running joke that all these people call me doctor because,
But you are a doctor.
I mean,
that counts. Holy smokes.
I mean,
I had no idea I was in the presence of it.
I'll tell you this. I'm as much of a doctor as Jill Biden.
So we have a call here that we missed, and I'd like to give him a call back. They left us a voicemail, so let's give him a call back.
Let's do it.
I think this might be Jennifer. She answers.
No, take it back. Dr. Biden, she actually has a doctorate.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant the president.
Jill
Because
Biden.
he does not. You're talking about Jill.
Jill has a doctorate.
Jill is a doctor.
Jill has a doctorate.
That's right.
Who was it? Who was it that came out and acted like they had a doctorate? They call themselves doctors.
I'm going to call someone right now.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on? It's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
How are you doing, Dr. Meyer? This
Good.
is John Murray.
So sorry.
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
What's going on? Where are you at?
Right outside of Pensacola, Florida, calling you back from a couple weeks ago.
Man, you're living the dream.
I'm working on it day by day. Whole point is to help other people achieve it too, isn't it?
Hell yeah, man. Listen, it doesn't do you any good to get there if nobody's there with you, does it?
That's correct.
What's going on?
Not very much. Wanted to see how you were doing.
Man,
See how all your dreams and aspirations are coming along.
Man, living the dream, man. I wake up every day, my girls, it's summer. So my girls are out here just living the dream, crushing life. I'm as busy as it gets and, just on good stuff, positive stuff, like on the proactive side. So, man, I told a guy earlier, if I had something to complain about, I'd be lying to you.
Yes, sir. I completely agree. I do have a question for you.
Send it.
I want your opinion on how men growing up in today's society can become better men to raise great women and be a great protector and a father and a leader in their community.
Man, listen, I believe that, first off, I want to say, I believe that majority of problems that this country's facing is because men have gotten weak. Men have fucked it up.
Agreed.
Right? So like when you look at women not trusting men, it's because men have let them down, right? When you look at a woman who is, like every perspective that a woman has on a man has been given to her by a man that has let her down. And it usually comes down to her dad. Right. And so I realized this early on and just thinking about it, that, the longest person my daughters will date, the longest man my daughters will date is me. For 18 years.
Correct.
For 18 years, they're going to date me. And so when they turn 18 and they start choosing shitty, weak men, it's probably, that means it's a direct reflection of me, right? And so everything that I do, as far as working hard, as far as not making excuses, as far as not running around like, oh God, nobody cares about me. Like, listen, that is part of being a leader. That is part of getting out there and being a warrior. And men are made to be warriors. And so for me, it's like, men don't get up and do shit and protect things because it's easy, because it's right there, or because we got plenty of motivation, or because everybody's going to be clapping and cheering and loving us. Men get up and do it because it's the right thing to do, right? And so I think that, like, for everybody, for all the men right now, we have got to step up and start. Let me tell you, I'm gonna give you one clear thing that can fix all of this. Are you ready for this?
Absolutely.
We have got to hold other men accountable.
Agreed.
Right? Like when you see a weak man, when you see a man that's not doing and fulfilling his roles as a man of being strong, of being a leader in the community, of being compassionate, being empathetic, like when you see all these things, like that is, like, we got to hold that accountable. When you see a guy who's like, his family's falling to shit and he's at the bar every night hanging out with his boys and he's above the age of 18 years old, well, then you need to call him out. Why the fuck are you not at home? Why are you not at home with your kids?
Absolutely.
If you see, so all these aspects, right? And so I think that first, men have got to police men.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, it does.
I
agree.
I think where it all went wrong was whenever that statement came out, to where is a baseball player. I think he's an announcer. But he made this statement maybe in the 50s or 60s, and he said, "Good guys finish last." And I'm not blaming it on that, but I think that was a mentality that was probably taken a little bit too far, right? Like you
agree.
You got to wake up and do the right thing, and it's not easy and it's hard. But like, if you don't do it, then who's going to do it, right? And I'm going to give you the back half of my whole rant here. Probably said more than you probably wanted to hear, but the thing is, though, is women are the most resilient creatures on the face of the planet. Right? Like don't ever question that. And so let me point out to you, and like, this is why it's gotten so bad, is because women are way stronger than men. Women are way more resilient than men. There's a reason that God had women have babies and not men, because men couldn't fucking handle it. And the reality is when you look at back when Vikings, we think as men we're so important that, the women can't, they couldn't do all this stuff at home, and they couldn't, they couldn't keep the house up or whatever. Like they couldn't, go out and earn an income and all this. Like women don't need us. Women choose us, right? Because if you notice it,
Agreed.
if you notice it, back when the Vikings, they used to go off to war. Guess who kept the entire community together? The women. World War II,
Correct.
the men were all over at war. Where did Rosie Riveter come from? I mean, women literally came in and filled every job that every man had been doing. It didn't matter where it was at, because women are that damn resilient. And the thing is, man, is like if men let women down, guess what? They don't need you. And it just turns into this whole thing. And then men get weaker and weaker and weaker. And like it's a bad place. And I think that like men have got to look in the mirror and start being men again, right? Like when Harvey Weinstein, this whole toxic masculinity came out against men, that, Harvey Weinstein, that's what toxic masculinity is. No. You're right. That's toxic. It's fucking wrong. But masculinity is good. Men being men and being strong. And look, we as men have to understand that we should protect women. Like that should be one of our biggest roles as protectors. But we don't protect women because they're weak. We should protect women because they are that damn important.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
And if anybody has a doubt with that, they haven't witnessed an ultrasound and heard a heartbeat for the first time.
Dude, I mean, you talk about. Yes. I mean, the what women give up of their lives to give us children, right? I mean, like you said, like you hear that ultrasound. I mean, it's a ball game changer, right? And like women they're so incredible. And I think that when, and this is why, like I look at all these crazy things that take away from women, or that drop them down to the level of men. And it's like, man, if we don't keep women on a pedestal and we don't keep women up here to this great thing, man, we're going to have big problems. And I think that's where our country's going wrong, is like women are the most important thing that we have in this country. And look, for every woman that has a problem with men out there was given to her because a man let her down. Don't ever forget that, right?
Correct.
So does that make sense?
Absolutely. I appreciate your wise words.
Hell, I appreciate you, man. Listen, hey, call in again. I like when you call in.
Absolutely. I will do. I hope you have a great day.
You too, brother. Take care. Appreciate you, man. What a good guy.
Great call.
Great call, right?
Love it. Our lines are open, so please give us a call at 512-523-5609. Nothing's off the table. Give us a call. Appreciate that. There was someone that commented here on YouTube, and
What would they say?
I want him to give us a call. Let's
Hey,
just say he was didn't have a lot of cool things to say.
hey, it's Dakota with the Your Human podcast.
Hey, Dakota, it's Jordan.
What's up?
Hey, this is actually a good day for me.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm in the next 45 minutes going to take my test to be a CDL driver.
Bro, congratulations. You ready for it?
Yeah, man. I'm so ready. I don't know why I put it off so long, but I'm finally getting my life together, and you're to thank for that.
Man, you know what? That means a ton for me. It means a ton. Like that means the world to me. Are you what are you going to do when you get that license?
Well, I'm
Whatever the
thinking about
hell you
going
want.
driving for somewhere local. Get a couple years of experience knocked out, and then maybe go over the road or something. I don't know.
Hell yeah, man. Listen, it opens up those opportunities, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. Yeah, everything good then?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, it feels so great to finally get shit straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For 10 years of my life, I've been fucking around,
Yeah.
not doing anything, and it feels good to have some responsibility and, taking care of things I need to take care of. And this is it's a step in that direction.
Step in that direction. Well, listen, here's what I want to challenge you to, brother. After you get it today, don't let that be the stopping point, right? Like, what's next? What's that next target, right? Like, get this one knocked out, focus on it, and then what's next, right? You're gonna get your hazmat, you're gonna get your multi, you know what I mean? Like just keep learning, man, and keep getting those licenses and keep pushing, right? Like, keep going. You never know where it's gonna take you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I want to go get my endorsements here. I think I have to wait to get my license, like, physically, but after I get it back, I can go do my endorsements. And I'm gonna do them right away.
Hell yeah, man! You gonna get your Class A, or what are you gonna get?
Yeah, I'm testing for my A today.
Hell yeah, man! I got my Class A too, so I love it. But that's awesome, man. Well, listen, dude, I appreciate you calling me.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
You sound good. Well, listen, shoot us a message. Let us know the results.
Okay. We'll do.
Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. What an awesome guy. I remember when he called.
What was his story?
He called earlier on in like one of the first 4 or 5 podcasts.
Oh, got it.
And yeah, man, just like was struggling a little bit.
Wow, man. We're changing some lives here, inspiring some people.
But anyways, what a good guy.
Love it.
What a good guy out there getting after it, right?
I got a question from Christopher on Facebook. Do you support the Second Amendment, sir?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why people want to ask you that.
Well, they ask on there. They don't want to call.
Call in, please.
What else?
On the subject of the last call, I just invested something in myself and my education as well. And I purchased one of my first courses for videography business. And I wish I did it years ago, because I'm a self-taught filmmaker, and being self-taught only takes you so far, I grew up on YouTube University, so to speak, but I just invested in my first course, and I wish I took this years ago, man. Maybe I wouldn't have messed up this stream earlier, but so I really big on educating yourself and never stopping. I see when I walked in here, you were studying, learning things. And so just never stop learning.
I mean, like just actually this last weekend, I was at my first skills lab for my paramedic. I'm knocking my paramedic out. Just did rope ops and awareness, getting ready to do rope tech at the end of the month, and then going to a NASAR class, which is search and rescue class, at the middle of July, and then I've got rescue swimmer and then swiftwater tech coming up in August. Yeah, I mean, it's just and it's just about continuing to keep. It's like exercising, but it's like exercising your mind, right? It's like it's just exercising, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I think we missed a call. Let's give him a call back.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on? It's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Yeah, this is Jeff Hatcher in Columbia, Kentucky. How
What's up, Mr. Hatcher?
Hey, man.
What are you doing?
Oh, watching the podcast there. I was just wanting to ask you a question about what was the most fun that you've had in what county or state?
Jeffy G. Some of the best times I ever had were when you had that bus. You remember that time we played the Harlem Globetrotters, and we took the party bus up there. We drove up and we played them.
Yes, sir. I had that in mind.
Man,
I had a couple of guys dressed up as a rabbit, I think, and something else.
Yeah, they were. There's a school full of kids, and you had this guy in a rabbit costume came running through. I mean, listen, I'll be honest with you. All the way from back when I was in middle school, and you used to take me and Blake out to. I mean, we would be going and clearing fence lines or whatever it was, and whether it was a day off or whether we took the razors to town and on a snow day, or I mean, I'll be honest with you, like some of the best times were when I was hanging out with you and Blake, and then Michael Keltner, and I mean, by far some of the best times I ever had were right there.
That's part of growing up in the country.
Man, it's such a good time. And you know what? I see you out there being a grandpa now, and I look back and I think, gosh, like how lucky how lucky they are to have you and you know, to be able to have that in, you know, in their lives.
Thank you very much. And it was, I'll tell you, I enjoyed all of it, watching you all grow up, being what you all have turned out to be.
Man, we had so much fun. I mean, we've had buffalo on the road. I mean, we tried to buy a 2-hump camel at that sale that time. You remember that? And then it came a tornado on the way home.
Yes, it did. We're driving beside it.
I mean, oh man. I mean, I'm telling you, I will say this. I don't think there's one person on the face of the planet that I have more stories like that with than you.
Well, that's good. We just don't want to tell them all.
Well, that's a fact. Well, tell everybody I said hi.
Nice speaking with you.
You too.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Man.
Got to give us some context on this.
Man, so Jeff, so I went to school with his son, Blake, and we grew up together, right? Literally, they live, gosh, maybe less than 5 miles from me, right? Like we passed them every time on the way when you were in Kentucky with me, right? Like every time going to town, like you passed their house. We probably hold on the horn the whole way past them. You know what? That truck, my fast truck.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I bought that off them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's all making sense.
It's all making sense.
It's coming together.
Right? So, man, just, you know, grew up and, you know, Jeff's, you know, I played basketball with his son, you know, played football with his son. I mean, they're just always there, right? Like they're for sure pillars of the community, right? And just, you know, Jeff works hard. Guy just busts his ass doing everything. So really just an awesome place to grow up.
I'm jealous.
Everybody needs a Jeff in their life. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? It's Dakota.
Is this Dakota?
Yeah.
Hey, Dakota, how you doing? My name's Rodney Sowers.
How are you, Rodney?
I'm doing great. Brother. I live in West Virginia. I've always been a big fan of yours ever since I watched the interview of 60 Minutes.
Heck yeah, man.
And look, I just want to know, actually, how do you keep yourself going from day to day after what you and the staff sergeant went through, back and forth through the hell of gunfire?
Man, you me tell you how is, man, I watched a bunch of guys died so that I could live. And
you watch a what?
I watched a bunch of guys die so that I could live. And you know, I'm never gonna waste a day because there was so much given for that, right? For me and you to be here, to be free, and to have what we have.
Call dropped.
No, it's all good. But yeah, so if you're listening, sir, I just remember every single day that people, I got to watch the hell that people went through so that I could live another day, right? And I was fortunate that God gave me another day. I was fortunate that I get to wake up every day. And you know what, man? You don't even have to go to war to appreciate that. I mean, walk through your communities. Somewhere, listen, I guarantee you, anywhere you go, people, like I always tell people, if we threw all of our problems on the table, if we all sit around that we were complaining, threw all our problems on the table, none of us would want to trade. If you had to trade the whole plate, none of us would.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I haven't heard you say that on the pod, but I've heard you say that in real life. I have a question for you. So
send it.
This is coming from Knives Monroe. As a civilian, as just a normal dude, as a guy who maybe has one family member that was in the service, like what can someone like me do to not be intimidated by somebody like you and what you've accomplished and how you get after it every single day? Like
just get after it.
I've hung out with you
just
and
get after it.
I've had the privilege to meet guys like Tim Kennedy and Marcus Luttrell, and it just makes me feel so small sometimes, you know. I'm like, dude, I can't even lace these guys' boots.
Yeah, but that's a perception, right? Like that has nothing to do with us. That has everything to do with yourself.
More on that. What do you mean?
And so, like, man, the reality is like, I
can't be the only one that feels this way.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is like, dude, we're all just normal guys, and you've seen that.
Yeah.
I'm no different than you. Guess what? The same thoughts that go through your head are the same thoughts that go through my head. It doesn't matter whether you've gone to the military or not. The same doubts, the same thoughts, the same negativity. Like there's nothing that goes through your head that doesn't go through mine.
Hmm.
Hey, it's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, pretty good, man. Glad I got through. I called a couple of weeks ago and they called me back, but we couldn't link up. But wow, I didn't know you were.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Oh yeah, shoot. I'm trying to like figure out if I should look at your Facebook or my phone. But yeah, my name's Paul. I'm a former Marine, 95 to 2000, pre 9/11, and just been a massive fan of yours. And
Hell yeah.
Can't thank you enough for the service you're doing. But it kind of just struck me what you were just saying, that you know, you saw people die so you could live, and you're not going to waste another day, and you know, own your dash kind of thing. And that is so easily understandable. Like, I totally get that. Like, that
Yeah.
makes 100% sense to me. But if you are someone that, you know, has a warrior spirit that maybe they kind of have lost, but hasn't gone through that level of stuff, where do you find drive outside of going through what you went through?
Man, it doesn't even have to be something traumatic, right? Like, you know, sometimes, because like sometimes like people take traumatic events and they don't learn from them, right? You know, it's like so what I would say is, I mean, look, let me ask you this. I mean, how old are you?
45.
45. I mean, you've lost people you cared about.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever wished that you'd said or done something different?
Oh yeah.
Hey, so guess what? There's your fuel. Wake up every day and make sure that everything that you do in life, that you don't wish you'd done something different.
Yeah. That's an excellent point. That totally makes sense.
Right? Like, you don't have to go through. I mean, look, I hope nobody goes through, they lose everything they care about, right? Like, but man, like, to me, I mean, I watch my daughters. Like, I want to be, like, I look at my motivation, like, well, I need to be able to protect them. You know, I look at my friends around me. Like, I want to be an example to like, you know, why would they want to come to me to get better if I'm not good? Right. And so, like, all these things, it's like the oxygen mask. And that's why, like, I work out the way I do. Like, that's why, like, in the mornings, whether it's studying or working out, like I get up in the mornings and I do it first thing. And so, because if I don't, like, you know, throughout the day, so like I get up in the morning and I either work out or I do whatever I need to do for me that day that makes me better. And then I got the rest of the day to give to everybody else. And it's kind of like the oxygen mask thing, right? Like on an airplane, like get your own on. And so where do I find the motivation? Like it's really not motivation. It's just fear. It's fear of letting people down. It's fear of regret. It's fear of like, could you imagine, like,
I hear that.
Could you imagine, like, if you got to heaven and God, you know, you're standing there in front of God and God has behind this big curtain, like this big whiteboard or whatever. I don't know why God would have a whiteboard, but anyways, and you're like, God, man, I did this, you know, and what if he, like, let that sheet down and it was all these things that were so much bigger than what you were. And he's like, I put you on earth and intended you to do this.
Yep. That's what you could have done.
That's what you could have done. That's the potential that you left. That's how much you left on the table. And so for me, man, I get up every day and, man, I'm not going to leave anything on the table.
Yeah. That's definitely a great way to look at it. Yeah, I feel the same way after losing a few close friends. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and that's a great way to look at it. And you know, I hope there's a lot of other people out there listening that knows, you know, that the message you're talking about can, you know, relate to everyone, not just military people or not just Marines or anything like that. Because you know, you're the the greatness that you're doing is the things that you don't see
Yeah.
and you don't hear about.
Yeah, and you got to be careful, right? Like we found society has tried to define us, define what success is. And that's why you see so many depressed people, right? Like people think that after they get $1 million, they're going to feel better, and then they don't, right? Or they think after they get a 6,000 square foot house that they're going to feel better, or they think that after they pay their house off, that life's just going to magically be fixed. And really, it's not about any of those things. Society has put that on these people, these expectations and the standard. And it's man, like they're focused on all this outward stuff and not this inward stuff, right? Like of like taking care of each other, like being there for somebody down the road, or like, like doing good, right? Like doing good in the community. And it's just like, it's just a crazy, crazy thing, man. And so I just think for me, like I get up every day and I just try to make myself better so that way that I can help more people. Right. And like, that's the thing is like, when I go to the gym and work out, like I ain't working out to try to look a certain way or to try to beat the guy next to me or to lift more weight next to me. Yeah. Like I'm going to the gym so that I'm better, so that I can help other people. Right. That's my intentions.
Yeah, because it makes you mentally and physically strong. But
yeah.
Thanks for serving as a firefighter, and what a challenge going for your paramedic. I was following you when you first volunteered or signed up for your local community, and I was like, you know what, that is a great way to like help people and give back to the community and be around some really solid people. And I did that in my community. Last year, I just graduated firefighter 1 and 2 academy last year, and I live in a small town in Maine, so it's not like a big city, but I've been on a whole bunch of calls, and man, what a great feeling, when you help someone out, or like
how cool is it?
House on fire. What's that?
How cool is it, man? Like how cool is it to be
incredible.
That?
Yeah, and I kind of had a little chip on my shoulder for a while when I got out, because it was just it was just so hard to like hang out with normal people. But when you're hanging out with a bunch of firefighters, that like brotherhood is there.
Yeah, and it's
that feeling,
and it's awesome, man. And like for me, like man, every call I go on, like I just think like whether it's a fall call or it's whatever, right? Or it's an entrapment, a vehicle, a collision with entrapment, right? Like it doesn't matter. Like that person called 911, and some of these people that we go and respond to, like we're the only people that care about them. And that's the most important part of our job, is to make sure that we're there to care and to leave them better than we found them, and to remind them that there's still hope and that there is still people in this world that care about them and will go out of their way to help them.
Yep, that's what it's all about too. It's not about anything else but leaving good things behind to make the world a better place. It's pretty much all we can do.
That's right, man. And like what you're doing, I don't know of a place you can have more of an impact on people. You get to show up, like, man, I always try to clean up around their house a little bit sometimes, or, try to fix the problem, right? Like, hey, whatever it is, and just try to leave them better than we found them. Right. It's such an awesome job. So so next get done with this, and guess what you got to go get next? Your EMT.
So what's that? Yeah. EMT. Right.
There you go.
That's when you're actually in the real ball game, when you get both together.
There you go, man. Hey, why not?
Yep. But hey, man, it's been great chatting with you. I really appreciate everything you're doing, and just keep going. And you're giving hope to so many people, and
man,
your country's proud of you, brother.
Man, that means a ton. Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, and thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for going out there and serving your community, man. Like we get more people like you, like the world would be a better place.
Yeah. Same to you.
Thank you, man.
Semper Fi, brother.
Semper Fi, brother.
Bye-bye.
What an awesome call to end on, right? Like what an awesome call. Like just again, like I leave, I say this every show, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing it, but I leave this every single time as like, World's going to be fine. You know, when they ask me about all these crazy things, I don't worry about it. We got people like that, right? Like people like that, you know, just incredible. So I'm going to remind you because I said I'd do it again. I will be at Camp Lejeune next Wednesday, Thursday, June 21st and June 22nd. At June 21st, we'll be working out on base at Wallace Creek Fitness Center. I don't know what the workout's going to be, 06:45 if you want to come get some. So don't show up at 06:45. We're going to start then, get there a little bit early. And then on June 22nd, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Marston Pavilion, we will be doing a hiring fair with Hunger Heroes and Toyota. So it's an incredible opportunity. If you're getting out in the next 12, 18 months, bring your spouse. It's not just for service members. It's also for spouses. Because listen, what we do know is that serving this country is a family business. There will be a ton of employers in there with a ton of jobs. It's not just a glad hand, thank you for your service place. It's a serious business. It's a serious place to be for people who are serious about their future, right? So make sure to come check it out again. It's June 22nd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Marston Pavilion. It is a hiring fair. Bring your spouse. And look, even if you're not looking for a job, go in there and network. Get some networks for these people, with these people, these career, these employers who have careers, who have jobs out there and who are looking to hire. They understand the importance and the value of a service member. So make sure to go check it out. Again, it's June 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Marston Pavilion. HungerHeroes.org is where you can find out more information on it, or you can go to careerspark.org for the spouses. So listen, I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you next Tuesday and keep owning it.